Hi, I'm Danielle Holmes, and today I'm going to be talking about women in the military. Isn't it crazy to think that women weren't allowed to be part of the military until the early 1900s? Women have had a strong impact in the armed forces throughout history, in my own family, and they still do today. As a woman, it is important to learn about what others have done to help me receive the opportunities that I have now. Women have served and continue to serve as a vital role in the military, Air Force, and Navy. Today I'll be telling you about how women have worked overtime to fight for our country. I want to start by telling you about how women began their influence in the military. In order to learn about the impact women have had, we will need to go back to before they were allowed in combat. According to the U.S. Army website, women served in the U.S. Army in traditional roles as nurses, seamstresses, cooks for troops and camps. They held these roles during the Revolutionary War, which was from 1775 to 1783. Even though women were not allowed in combat yet, they still had to endure the harsh living conditions with scarce food and little pay. They worked constantly to aid soldiers who were wounded from battle. Oftentimes, women who were determined to fight for their country would disguise themselves as men. They did this by cutting their hair, changing their clothes, and using fake male names. One woman who, for the most part, successfully fought as a man was named Deborah Sampson. According to Captain Barbara Wilson, she enlisted for the whole term of the war as Robert Shirtliff and served with the company of Captain Nathan Thayer from Medway, Massachusetts. Her identity wasn't discovered until she became ill with a brain fever. After being honorably sent home and eventually passing away, her husband was granted a widow's pension. Another way females have impacted the armed forces is through the Air Force. This resonates with me on a more personal level because my mom was a part of the Air Force before I was born. And here's a picture of my mom on this slide. My mom served in the United States Air Force from 1976 to 1980. This is so special to me because according to the official United States Air Force website, women were not allowed in combat until 1976. I was able to sit down with my mom and ask her about what it was like to be one of the first women to be on an equal playing field as the men. At the start, this decision caused a lot of controversy because they were allowing mothers to be shot at. Because of this, more men were getting shot because they were trying to protect the women as their natural instinct while they were in combat. Despite this troubling issue, being a part of the combat team taught her a lot. It taught her that she was capable of doing tasks that she would have probably never tried if she wasn't given this opportunity. It was a great experience to be able to work and live with people of all ages from all over the country. The teamwork atmosphere was so strong because everyone had such a strong desire to defend their country. And I have been so fortunate to have a role model like my mom to look up to because she has worked her whole life to make a positive impact on those around her. The last topic I want to talk to you about is how women are influencing the armed forces today. By 1917, women were finally allowed to join the military. At this time, women worked as nurses and other staff positions during World War I. It wasn't until 2016 that women were finally able to hold any combat position with no restrictions. This is evidence that the timeline for the history of women in the military is never ending. The number of women soldiers is still drastically increasing among the total demographic population. According to the Huffington Post, more than 200,000 women are serving active duty, and that number is steadily growing. Women are serving as nurses all the way to highly ranked officers within their branches. Women have fought persistently to not have to disguise themselves in order to fight for their country, and they're now being respected as individuals. The Department of Veterans Affairs predicted that by 2020, women veterans would comprise nearly 11% of the total veteran population. This is so interesting because less than 100 years ago, many people would have never thought this to be possible. Women have made numerous impacts throughout the 20th century, and fighting in combat is just one of them. In conclusion, women like my mom and throughout history have worked hard to achieve what they have in the armed forces, and they are still working to achieve even more in the future. All soldiers fight for our freedom every day, so next time you see someone who has been a part of the armed forces, don't hesitate to thank them. And that concludes my presentation, so do y'all have any questions? Okay, thank you.